Welcome back, everybody, to Game 2 between vileIllusion and Fitzy here. We saw a very strange game in the first one. I think that there are a lot of mind games being played right there, and it's clear that these players have been talking to each other at least a little bit, with ZVZ as a blah, 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 too. But really, vileIllusion convincingly beating his opponent with perfect scouting, that one Reaper just really being a winner.
Yeah, and excuse me there, sorry, Illusion just commenting about how boring CVZ is to play. That's very unfortunate because, I mean, Zerg is just clearly not as cool as Terran. TVT is way better than CVZ, isn't it? So Terran's obviously better, right? Right? Just trolling, guys. Don't worry.
I'll let you try to make that argument to the viewers as
Yeah.
I see the chat explode with people denying that as being the case. And right now, there's been an extractor trick from Fitzy here, and he's saving up, going for a 11 pool probably, unless he's going for an expand. Now, this is interesting. This is a build I've not seen before. He knows that every additional worker over about 12 isn't giving him any more money on that base. So he gets up to 11 workers, and then just immediately takes this expansion.
Yeah, that's actually really cool that he did that. I think it's not really too risky to do. He'll be able to get a spawning pool at a pretty decent time, and we'll see if it actually pays off. I don't know what the math would be to see if it's like a effective thing to do versus perhaps a 14 or 15 hatch. What do you think about that?
I would need somebody to theory craft it. I think that either way, it's going to be a little bit too close. He will get that expansion up very quickly, which will be nice for the additional larva. He won't have to invest in a queen for quite some time, doing even more extractor tricks. This is definitely going to be eating into the effectiveness of it. It's not a big loss, but he's now lost about 25 minerals by doing that, rather than just going for a little bit of a later expansion. Has got the one Overlord on the way, and it's going to be popping at a relatively close time to the spawning pool, so he might immediately go for a lot of slow Zerglings. But because there's no gas, I do think it would be a little bit risky for him to do anything but try to drone up and kind of overcome the deficit he's found himself in.
Yeah, I don't really know, like, slow Zerglings are not going to be that effective against Terran because it's just so easy to wall off or build a bunker or something like that. It does look like actually Illusion is building a factory here and will very likely add on a reactor. Yep, it does add on that reactor. So going for reactor Hellions, if our Zerg player sticks to Zerglings right now, I mean, he's just going to be in trouble.
vileIllusion definitely noticing that there was something weird about this build. That expansion just was so fast. As we can see right now, it's already halfway through building a queen. We're only at like 4 minutes into the game. So yes, 11 hatch, no overlord. I'm very curious to talk about Fitzy here, actually. About the and vileIllusion, very confused. Only way to what? To do it efficiently. So it does look like he's done some theory crafting, and I do like that he's invested the time and effort needed to see kind of like, so if a 14 hatch is a bit inefficient, how can I try to make it as optimal as possible for FRB?
Yeah, I really love that he's put a little more effort into the game than just like hopping in once in a while, playing your game and going on. So really cool by Fitzy here. I hope that he is rewarded for his time and effort that he's put into this. I'd be curious to ask Illusion about how much practice he's actually done on FRB, but he is continuing to just do a standard build as you would see in any other game with Reactored Hellion and adding on a couple more Hellions to this attack.
One thing I'm waiting for is how he's going to use that gas stockpile he has. He has 300 gas right now, and there we go. He's now throwing down the starport. We're going to have to see if that's going to be for some kind of drop play with medevacs or for some banshees.
I think it's likely that he will go ahead and do some drop play, but actually, never mind, he is building a tech lab, so quite likely that he will instead go for Banshees, and this is another build that Illusion likes to do against Zerg players, even on the typical ladder. As I've seen in his stream, he gets Hellions, he gets Banshees, and I actually don't know if he gets any bio units, but it's pretty effective. He definitely toasts Queens really easily, and even if you were to go for a medevac, being able to drop into the main base would just be really nice for a Terran player.
Yeah, he's continued the Hellion production right now, though actually now just swapping it out. He has the starport just landed, going for actually Cloak Banshees, though there are right now the 2 evolution chambers being built from Fitzy, so he should be able to get the detection that he needs in time. Also, just looking at the units, he has 4 queens out and is using that to very aggressively spread the creep, getting it in between his 2 bases and also move it out onto the map. So I think he has all the tools he needs to defeat this attack, but just kind of has to get them together.
Now, Fitzy here actually does not know that these Hellions are outside of of his base. He is currently does have the vision, so kind of needs to move his queens up here. There we go. Moves the queens up to get a wall, and it looks like the Hellions are actually just kind of chilling to deny creep tumors as they do pop up here, waiting for his Banshees and Cloak to finish. Now, we don't actually see any Spore Crawlers being built for... Oh, never mind. Huge run in here by the Hellions, and a lot of drones are definitely going to get toasted.
Actually, not quite. They're able to sneak through a pretty nice block on the ramp right there, though it was a very precarious position for Fitzy here. He had, shall we say, lined them up, and it was going to be a very big opportunity for the Hellions, but they didn't quite be in position to get in.
Wow, and it actually looks like Illusion was able to take out a queen. He's currently moving into the main base of his Zerg opponent and goes for a kill right there. Currently up to 5 workers killed and 9 workers killed. Really, really good attack there by those Hellions, and Zerg is at 27 supply.
Yeah, I think that this aggression has been the perfect thing for Illusion. Not only has it actually been successful, even if it hadn't been, it would have made his opponent focus on, I'm really, really scared of Hellion, and now that this Cloak Banshee is moved in, there's nothing in place to deal with it.
No, all Illusion needs to do is take out the Spore Crawlers that are being built and continue to add on more, actually, tanks and Marines to his composition back home. FRB is in a really, really tight spot.
Yeah, right now we see there are 4 Spore Crawlers under construction. One of them is now done, and that's given a little bit of a kind of sweet spot for these drones to run into. But just looking at the units tab, it's 8 workers against 35. So a distinct advantage for vileIllusion that I'm really not too confident about FRB's ability to come back from.
No, Illusion is continuing to add on more barracks, so it's going for a Marine siege tank attack, and actually making a Raven right here. I think that's pretty cool. I'm not sure what the Raven's really going to be able to do. Maybe drop point defense. Does that stop queen attacks? Do you know that?
It does stop queen attacks. Okay. I'm just not sure that he needs to worry very much about queen attacks. Though they are 100% of the enemy forces he needs to deal with, so maybe doing something that specifically counters queens would be a good decision. Right now the lair is on the way, but I don't know what tech he'd really go into to be able to deal with this. There's an okay number of Marines out, the siege tank and the Banshee, so I think the one thing would maybe be a Spire, but that'd be pretty risky.
Yeah, and it does look like our Zerg player is actually making a lair right now. So once you get those meters out, now the Spine Crawlers are in pretty good position, as well as the Spore Crawler moving up here to kind of get a decent defensive wall. But it looks like our Terran player actually has siege finished, as well as a group of Marines, and those defensive structures are just going to get outranged by the tanks. So man, really, really, really hard spot for Zerg to be in here.
He's moving across the field right now. We can also see, just with a very quick look back at vileIllusion's natural, he has that command center morphing into an orbital command to take his third, so he's expanding behind this aggression, using the Raven to clear up any creep, and is now sieging up with that one tank at the bottom of the ramp. This is going to be incredibly difficult for FRB here to stop. He's going to need perfect transfuse micro.
Yeah, transfuse is going to be his only saving grace here, and actually Illusion coming up here with his Marines. Needs to be careful, though, about the splash damage from the tanks against his Marine because of the Zerglings, and these tanks are just continuing to target down these defensive structures. And I think the Zerg is committing to the attack. A group of Zerglings is actually able to take out the one tank right there, and the Queens are going for this. Banshees managed to take out one Queen. One Queen and one Banshee. 2 Queens are left, though, and Illusion is in, wow, a really, really good spot, yeah.
Though this was basically as perfect as that defense could have been.
Yeah, it was.
I'm really impressed with FRB right here. He killed most of the Marines. They're still being reinforced, but there's not as many as there definitely could be. The Banshees right now, a mule being dropped, but not a Manor Mule. He actually wants that to defend these Banshees. More Zerglings coming out, and really, I'm worried that one of the critical problems right here, besides just being at 36 supply against 90, is the fact that Metabolic Boost was so delayed. I feel like that has to have been a mistake.
Yeah, that most definitely has to be a mistake. And that is going to be the GG for that match. Continuing Illusion on into the round of 4. Sweet. Alright, so that's pretty good by Illusion. He did some pretty good damage there, yeah.
Yeah, I do think Illusion handled that quite well. He did get his main race both times in addition, which is a distinct advantage when you're playing random, to actually get your main race when you're